book on the subject, it's obsolete. So what I did was I wrote a tale which takes you on a virtual tour of the country. So you travel around the country, you get a good, which allows you to develop a mental image of the geography of the place. And as you go, depending on where you are, you learn about different historical periods and different people which make up Syria. So when you're out, when we're out on your tour of the Euphrates River, that's where we're talking about early city-state formation. When we're in Palmyra, that's, like I just read, that's when we talk about Roman Syria, Queen Zenobia, corruption in the antiquities market in Syria, that kind of thing. When you're up here in the mountains, that's when we talk about the Alawites, and we also talk about the Crusader chapter of history in the Middle East. There's a giant Crusader castle right up here in those mountains. And also the assassins. A lot of people don't realise that the assassins, even though they find their origin in northern Iran, they became very well established here in these Nusayriya mountains around the same time as the Crusaders, actually. Well, as a matter of fact, the assassins murdered the Crusader king of Jerusalem. So that is sort of what I was trying to do with this book. I decided to set it in the here and now. So you enter the country just before the outbreak of hostilities, and you travel around the country on your adventure. But as you go, the war is spreading and spreading and spreading, and the flames of this conflagration are always looking at your heels. And sooner or later, it all comes. You're going to have to come face to face with the reality of what's happening today. And but thankfully, by that time, you've gained a fairly decent education about what Syria is about and who these groups are that are doing all the fighting. And I'll just wrap it up by reading a final passage which is set in the city of Homs. Without trying to give too much away, you are captured by an Islamic group, a moderate Islamic group, thankfully, and this is what happens. We race back through the shelled-out buildings. We are assailed on all sides by fiery explosions and collapsing masonry. My eyes are blinded by grit. The taste of concrete dust fills my mouth, and the thump and burst of artillery shells flings me about like a rag doll. Somehow I keep on going, struggling on through the carnage and the chaos. The clamorous pitch of the firefight is at a full crescendo. The very air around me is being cut to shreds by a storm of steel. I have one single thought: to keep on going, but I feel as if I'm running through a dreadful nightmare. No matter how fast I move, I seem sure to be engulfed by the onslaught. Then, suddenly, from up ahead, I hear voices raised. Something unexpected has happened. I enter a room and see two Syrian soldiers down on their knees, terrified out of their minds. The Sunni rebels are yelling amongst themselves in furious debate. Some want to kill the soldiers immediately. Others want to take them back to base. The two men are conscripts with faces as white as sheets. It appears that they lost contact with their own patrol when the firefight began. They took cover only to be caught by the retreating rebels. The rebel leader makes a quick decision, for this is no time for quibbling, and they push their captives on at gunpoint. There will be time to deal with them back at base. This day of tragedies is yet to drain its bloody cup. We backtrack the way we came.